What's up, everyone? It's a makeover day. Today we're focused on lights, and we're going to be going from this to this. So just real quickly, I wanted to show you how these come. They're set up with sort of these push-on adapters. I'm not sure exactly the name. And they also give you a few pieces so that you can connect them or splice into your harness. I don't like this because later on down the road, if you wanted to switch it out, then you have to cut it, and your wire on the bike keeps getting shorter and shorter. So Husqvarna and KTM actually use connectors like this. I'm going to put these on. I'll put a link in the description, but custom LED, a pair of these is like, I don't know, under 10 bucks. So I buy a few of them, keep them in your toolbox. Nice to have, but yeah, I would suggest doing this, and then you can solder them in, or you can use these quick connectors still, just with these. So either way, I think I'm going to solder mine and go that route. But just because the wires are so long on this and this, that's a lot of wire to manage. So, all right, just real quick, if you're going to do this the way that I'm doing it, these are the tools you're going to need. So your Torx bit just to remove the windshield and the lights. I'm going to be using some heat shrink connectors. These are marine grade. I'm a sailor, so I just happen to have a ton of these around. You can probably use automotive, but I think these are better, so I would go and find them. Some wire strippers, soldering iron, some solder, some crimpers, and then a heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, you can use a hair dryer. Just don't tell your wife, go grab it. Alright, so I'm not sure actually if it covers it in the manual. Of course, Husky didn't include one. But I'm guessing that if we just remove this bolt here, this, which is fairly loose, is going to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and basically just take the windshield off. Bolt here, 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 and here. And then I'll be back. In case you're wondering, this is a T30. Alright, so windshield's off. There's no other bolts on this, so I'm thinking, look at that. Again, I don't know if you guys watched my video on 5 reasons why I love this bike. One of them, serviceability. And that's crazy. There's so many bikes where you have to remove half the fairing, the headlight, and everything just to get at this wire here. So that's a real plus. So once you got this off, you just need to undo this little clip. If you press on the black piece to the side, if you just push on the little tab here in the middle, you can pull this right out. So I'm not going to be able to do that with the camera in my hand, but press down on the tab. If you need to, you can get a screwdriver or something as well. But it should just come out pretty easily. These can be tricky just because of the wire. I'm doing something blasphemous. I'm using a 1/2-inch wrench on this metric nut, but you can get in there. You don't need a special tool. They make sockets that go around wires. I've never used one, so take this off, thread it out. Everything will slide right off. This piece is important. Reuse this because it actually is a really nice sort of washer. The other nut you'll throw away. Alright, so the stock cord on these is super long. Plus, you're adding the length of this. So what I'm going to do is cut these down quite a bit. That way there's just not a ton of wire left in the bike. So you just snip it off flush. Then you're going to need a 12, let's see, 12 gauge wire stripper. Do not strip these, because if you pull this off using the stripper, it'll probably strip some of the wires underneath, and then you're gonna have to cut more. So I like to sort of go around in a circle, do a couple of cuts, try and get through the outer layer, and then I just actually take my thumbnail, get behind there, and then pull it off, just like that. I mean, literally just a thumbnail, and you're back to sort of that factory look. Then you can strip these guys off. I'm using the 20 gauge stripper for these, and boom, give them a couple of twists each. And then I'm going to get it set up. I'm actually going to put some solder on these just to keep them nice and tidy. So. All right. Hopefully you can see that. If you never soldered before, you just heat up your soldering iron. I like to melt a little solder onto the tip, and you really just sort of touch it to the wire. Get it nice and spread around. This is a completely optional step, honestly. You don't have to do this. I like to do it because the wires stick together, gives it a little bit better of a connection. But again, totally overkill for this application. If you're the type of person that has a soldering iron because you do some other electrical stuff, doesn't take long to do this, right? So if you don't have a soldering iron, don't run out and buy one. Just keep going. One thing I forgot to tell you guys, as you can see, there's the big hole right here and then this tiny hole. So the stock lights have something to align it. The new ones don't, and it's likely even if you're not using the same lights as me, yours aren't going to have that. If you go to Ace Hardware and buy some of these automotive push pins, this is just a piece of plastic. I'll put a picture of where I found it. But you can take it and then just take your strippers and cut off a side of it, just like that. And then you can actually just feed it into that small hole. It's going to be hard to show you. It just pushes in. And then you get that. So, is it watertight? Probably not, but it does make it look a little nice. It'll keep crud from getting in there as well. So, take your wire that you just put solder on. Oh man, that was almost bad. Alright, so that little piece that you saved, instead of, it was on the inside, you're going to put it on the outside. I think this works the best. That way it doesn't harm the plastic. Just like that. And then feed your wires through it before you make the connections. This way you don't have to hassle with getting those butt connectors through, because it's really tight. I'm not even sure that it'll actually work. And then just grab your washer and your nut, slide it over this, and then loosely tighten it, and you'll be good to go. Alright, so next you're just going to take your terminals, stick them on each wire, and then crimp them. If you haven't used one of these, they're actually color coded. So for a pink or a red piece, you're going to use the red dot here. And squeeze. Give it a good squeeze. I like to test them. You shouldn't be able to pull that off, so that's a good connection there. I've got this in a vise because it's a lot easier to connect the other piece when you're done. If you're trying to hold the wires yourself and then crimping, you need an extra hand. So vise or a friend, something like that would be useful. I'll go and do these. I'll speed up this part of the video. All right, all crimped up. Now, if you haven't already, go get your hair dryer. Then just shrink these down. Another benefit of having the vise is you don't burn your fingers. All right, and then you can see when they shrink down, it's a nice watertight connection. The benefit of doing it this way is now you've got a direct connection to the factory harness. Just snap it in. And of course, actually probably about the same size. So we'll just do a quick test run here. Alright, so everything's connected properly. You can take this, just how they did it from the factory. They just clip that piece right. Oh, you can't see it. So it just clips right back in there. This wire feeds back in here. And you'll be good to go. I'm going to tighten down this bolt though first. Then all that's left to do is mount this back up. Take the top two and line them up. A couple of turns. And once you get those in, it's a lot easier to get the ones that go through the turn signals. I don't know if there's a torque spec on these, but it's in plastic, so I just snug them. Nothing crazy. So I just wanted to show you guys this, because I went out for a test ride. If you put your blinkers on now, you actually get a warning signal. I actually like this because I almost always forget to turn my blinkers off. So this big, yellow light just says your blinkers are on, which is kind of nice. As soon as you flip them off, the warning goes away. Flip them back on, comes back. So kind of an added bonus, really. All right, so there you have it. In the end, way sleeker. These are great because you can see they've got give to them. If you fall, they'll bend. But they're also just super bright. Looks so much better than. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, think about subscribing. I got more projects coming up.